What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Second Passport, and today we're going to talk about how to prepare and pass the Ecuador citizenship test for foreigners. I just took it a few months ago, entering 2019, and I can tell you um, it's kind of like one of those high school history tests that you just kind of have to binge information for and purge once again. And honestly, I have forgot almost everything I studied um, for that test. But I'll tell you what's on it though. And in the description below, there's a link to my full guide with actual questions and answers and the Spanish and the English next to it because the test is in Spanish, but don't be afraid. It's not too bad. It's multiple choice, so usually just simple word association can get you through it and get you through most answers if you prepare just for a few days before the test. There is a written part at the end of the test, but I'll share with you here what that's about. Basically, what you have to know going into the test, it's 20 questions, multiple choice, and then a short written section after. Very easy. It's not actually that difficult. You have three chances to pass it, and it actually took me twice. Um, but you get email notifications if you don't pass. Excuse me, you get email notifications to go in to take the test. And I missed the first email notification, so I actually went in on my second try. And I didn't pass the written part portion because I didn't know what's prepared, but now you do. So I had to go in for my third and final try. If I didn't pass it, I would be screwed according to them and be disqualified for the citizenship that I've been waiting over a year for since I applied. And basically, I did pass it. I did get my Ecuador citizenship. I do have my Ecuador second passport. I'm now American and Ecuadorian citizen, which is really great, as I've outlined in other videos, some of the benefits of that. So anyway, when you apply, about 6 to 9 months after you apply, you have to come in for this written test. They'll email you on the date that you have to come in. You come in, you take the test, and basically what you got to know are famous people and the presidents of Ecuador, like who's the first president, who was the guy that started the railroad in Ecuador, Eloy Alfaro, and all this other, the famous people, like I cover in my full study guide. You got to know all the holidays and festivos, feriados in Ecuador. Just Google what you see here on the video, feriados in Ecuador, and all of them will pop up. You got to know the Independence Day for Cuenca, for Quito, for Guayaquil. It's not like the U.S. where there was one Independence Day. Ecuador, like most of Latin America, was independentized, if that's a word, by regionally. So each region, Guayaquil, Guayas region, Cuenca, Azuay, and Quito, they all have their own Independence Days, and you got to know them for the test because you're not quite sure what they're, what's on the test. But you can Google feriados in Ecuador and see them all appear and learn them all, the significance of each date. Also, what you should know is geography, a lot of geography. I swear to God, one question that was on the test for me was what's the name of the ocean that borders Ecuador's coast? Like, are you kidding me? Oh man, that's so easy, Pacific Ocean. But there's also harder questions too. You have to know how many provinces are in Ecuador, 24. You got to know sometimes what province is Quito in? Like the major cities, what provinces are they in? What is the province that borders Peru to the south? These are things that you got to know, right? El Oro to answer that question. So you got to know the provinces, you got to know geography, you got to know some regions of Ecuador, know the main volcanoes. Ecuadorians are proud of those. Cotopaxi is the one near Quito, etc., etc. You got to know some typical, very Ecuadorian foods, like in the Dia de los Muertos in Ecuador's Halloween. Uh, what do they eat? And that's they eat the colada morada, which is a drink. It's like this milkshake kind of thing, weird thing, and guagua bread, which is like this gingerbread man. It's supposed to represent like the spirits of the people. It's like this sweet bread that they eat, or they go to the cemetery and leave it for their deceased loved ones. They also eat another thing that was on the test was a typical food. It's like this soup they eat in Easter Semana Santa week called fanesca. It's like this fish soup. Really weird. I'm not a big fan myself personally, but that's about it. As far as the written section, at the end of the test, you got to know the significance of the flag, the colors, and the emblem in the middle. You got to know the significance of all those, and you got to know the shield. Ecuador has a shield, and you got to know the significance of the little things on there, and you got to know the hymn. Now, there's a real long version of the hymn and a short version with just the chorus and one one verse. So just know the chorus and the verse. You have to literally write it out word for word. The chorus and one verse, and that's it. Um, you will have to sing that once you get sworn in, considering you passed this test I'm talking about right now. Um, but that's it. They tell you right then if you passed or not. I believe you need an 18 out of 20 at least in order to pass. I mean, the number's pretty high. So anyway, it literally, I suggest getting a study guide like the one I offer here below. Follow the link. And literally, if you study just a little bit for this thing, and there are other sort of study guides available, you can pass pretty easily. It's not really something to worry about. It shouldn't be a deal killer, even if you don't speak Spanish that great. Multiple choice and memorizing one paragraph of words is not too big a deal.